Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Donovan, and in today's video we're going to be doing an unboxing of the brand new FitBit Versa 3. Now, I did already actually unbox it. I got it yesterday. So in today's video we're just going to go through a software rundown of the watch, talk about what's new versus the Versa 2, which I think I reviewed like 2 years ago probably. It seems like a decade ago.
One, two, three, four.
The brand new FitBit Versa 3 has some new features. We're going to talk about those. Also compare it up to some other watches in the very near future. I have the Garmin Venue SQ on the way, which I think has a lot of similarities to this watch, and we'll talk about which one's better. Also the Apple Watch SE, which comes at a slightly higher price point, but offers a lot of the same features. So if you're interested in fitness tech, definitely hit that subscribe button and also click that notification bell so that you can get notifications whenever I post videos about all of your favorite fitness tech. All right, so we got the watch all unboxed. So I'm gonna go ahead and run through the software on the watch, run through the software on the phone, and maybe talk about some of the things that maybe I don't like and some of the things I do like, just kind of on first impressions. Okay, so we're gonna set that down. And first and foremost, I think the most important thing that they included with the Versa 3 is GPS. So prior to this, the only Fitbit option that you had with GPS directly on the watch, meaning you don't have to take your phone with you. You can track all of your workouts directly from the watch, including distance and pace and things like that. So before, it was only the Ionic that you could do that with. So now we get it in the Versa 3. It was not on the Versa 2. So for me, that is by far the most important thing that they've included in this. It does come down to $229. So not a bad price, really. It's a pretty good price point, in my opinion, for this watch. It's going to be pretty competitive, I think. And then, of course, if you get the Sense, you do get a couple of extra features, but it's an extra $100. So you get like the blood oxygen monitor, which is really nice to have, especially, if you're worried about maybe having, COVID, for instance, you want to be able to know that blood oxygen level. You also get the ECG with the Sense that you don't get here on the Versa 3. So let's talk about some of the other things here. So we already mentioned pace and distance with built-in GPS, 24/7 heart rate with active zone minutes. It does come with Pure Pulse 2.0. So the heart rate sensor here is an updated heart rate sensor. I have not been able to put this to the test quite yet, but I will be comparing it. I'm going to be wearing the Fitbit Sense 3 on my right wrist tomorrow, and on my left wrist I'll be wearing my Apple Watch, which I know has a really accurate heart rate sensor. So just as a comparison, you can see the two next to each other. Obviously the Sense 3, the Fitbit Versa 3 is a much smaller watch face here, but this is the larger 44 millimeter version of the Apple Watch Series 5. As I mentioned, I have the SE on the way, and we're also going to be comparing this up to the Garmin Venue SQ because I think those have a lot of similarities as well. Okay, so we'll check out that heart rate sensor tomorrow. Hopefully it's accurate. We can store and play music. So you have two options. You have Pandora. So if you are a premium subscriber to Pandora, you can actually store music directly on the watch. Same thing with Deezer. That's another one you can use. And it does mention Spotify. However, with Spotify, I've already connected my account. Unfortunately, you cannot actually download Spotify music on here. It's just a controller for Spotify. So if you are a Spotify subscriber, basically you can control whatever speakers you may have connected to Spotify. So that's a little bit unfortunate in my opinion, but it is what it is. So as far as build, you can see that this is aluminum here. We do have kind of like that. It's not an actual physical button. You just push it and it vibrates. So kind of similar to what you get on some other watches. So it's not a physical button, unfortunately. I think we have a speaker over here, microphone. So that's what you're going to use for Alexa. So if you decide to use that, so you can customize it so that this is a long press will turn on Alexa, and you can actually pick and choose what that's going to be. But we'll check that out in just a little bit. You can also do a double tap, and that's going to bring up some shortcuts. So you can see I've created a music shortcut, setting shortcut, a run shortcut, and then I think that's the wallet. I'm not really exactly sure which one that one is, but then that home button, that's kind of like the home button here to bring you back to home. Okay, so let's talk about some of the other features. So store and play music. You can get calls, texts, and apps. So notice that there is a little asterisk. That is for Android only. So you will receive calls from an iPhone. You can also get text, but you won't be able to respond to them at all. Whereas if you use it with an Android device, you can actually respond to text, which is kind of cool. Also app notifications, which I think is quite cool. Also fast charging. So in terms of battery life, they're claiming 6 days. Obviously, if you're using the GPS, it's going to be shortened quite a bit, and when you use music, it's going to be shortened even more. So my guess typically, so just as a comparison, here is my Garmin 245 Music, Forerunner 245 Music. They claim 7 days here, and same similar situation. It has GPS, it has music. If you use both of those, I only get through about 2 days. So my guess is that with very heavy use, meaning you're using the GPS heavily and also listening to music with Bluetooth headphones connected up, because it can actually store music directly on the watch, then you're probably only going to get more like 2 to 3 days. But we'll have to test that out, obviously. I don't know that for sure. I'm just kind of going off of previous experience with other watches. So let's go ahead and run through the software on the watch. I should also mention just some of the other features. So you notice that that you can remove these bands. However, unfortunately, you have to use proprietary bands. They're not quick release or anything. So like if you look at my Garmin, they are quick release, easily swap them out for any 20 millimeter bands, which is really nice. Apple Watch, obviously you have to buy a special Apple Watch bands. They're specific to the Apple Watch. So same thing here with the Fitbit. They're proprietary, so you're going to have to buy Fitbit specific bands if you want to swap them out. Obviously, you can buy third-party bands as well, but they have to be specifically designed for a Fitbit. All right, so that said, let's go ahead and now run through the software. So when we pull up from the top, you can see we're going to get into our notifications. So these are all work notifications. Let's see if I can find one that's more of a non-work related. I get a lot of work emails here. All right, let's see here. So somebody wants me to review something. Okay, some wireless earbuds. You can see I can archive it. I can open it up. So opening it up will, of course, open it up on my phone. So I don't want to do that right now, but you can see what it looks like at least. And we can swipe to the left to go back. Doesn't work super well. I'm going to mention that because you can see that I'm trying to swipe left to go back, but it's not working. So we're going to have to hit the button in order to just back out of that completely. So that swipe to the left is not super great. But if we swipe from the left from the watch face, you can see we can go into our quick settings. So we have do not disturb, night mode. This is our brightness. We can control the brightness there quickly. This one, I can't remember. That's our always on display. So I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like since we have it there. This is flip to turn the watch face on, and this is to turn the speaker on and off. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn the watch face off. So you can see it does have it does sense when you cover it up. So it's going to automatically switch over to the always on display there. Okay, swipe over to the right and we have our various apps. Now I will say this, the app options you have with Fitbit are still pretty limited. Fitbit, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but you can see some of the things we have here. So today's just going to walk you through some of your fitness information for today. We have exercise, so this is where you're going to go ahead and select an exercise to partake in. So we have running, so let's go ahead and go into that. So you can see I have laps set up at 1 mile. I haven't actually used it, obviously. Whoops. So this is a little bit touchy there, but let's go ahead and go from the bottom. Okay, so we can start with a goal. We can set heart rate zone notifications, which is really cool. So it will buzz when you reach a certain heart rate. We can set laps. Now, there is no way to actually do laps as far as I can tell, because you can't like double tap the screen to do a lap like you can on the Apple Watch. So I haven't been able to figure it out. If there is a way, let me know down in the comment section because I'm not really sure of how you could do that. These are where we can select the various stats. So you can see the various things that we can select as far as our stats. So we have elapsed time, distance, pace average, pace, heart rate, calories, steps, time of day, lap time, lap distance, and active zone minutes. So that's what we have as far as an option. And again, you can see when I'm trying to swipe, it doesn't always really register the swipe and instead select something, which is kind of annoying. But let's go ahead and try it again. It's not great. They got to work on that. That's kind of annoying. All right, so we have, so those are the various stats. So we have, stats. So we have our top, middle, and bottom. So basically you get 3 stats on the watch face while you're working out. Of course, we want GPS on because we want the most accurate, but that is, of course, going to impact your battery, as it says. We have auto pause option. We have run detect. So that's when it's going to automatically detect a workout, which it did a little bit earlier. I was actually at a soccer practice for my son, and you can see it actually detected kind of like 2 workouts here. So that was when we were kind of being more active in the run. And then up here, that was just kind of at the end of practice when I was, we were doing a scrimmage and I was just walking around with the team, helping them out. So let's get back into that. So it did detect those automatically, and then the always on display. So that's to keep the display on all the time while you're working out, so that when you flip your wrist, it's automatically going to be there, rather than having to, flip your wrist in case it doesn't detect that you flipped your wrist, kind of thing. So, all right, slide over. So we have settings. We can go into that. Of course, we can run through all these, but we have display that can adjust our brightness, always on display, vibration and audio. We have some goal reminders. So if you want to turn on the goal reminders, you can. Basically just active zone minutes goal is what we have there apparently. All right, let's go back out of that. Again, the swiping isn't working super well. Kind of annoying. All right, so goal reminders, quiet modes, shortcuts. So this is where you can set up what the press and hold does and the double tap. So if I double tap that button, so you can see I've set it up for Alexa to be press and hold, and then for double press, I set it up to give some shortcuts. So you can see the 4 shortcuts here that I've selected. Get out of that. All right, so that's the settings. We have alarms, timer, weather. So of course we'll go into weather just so you can see what it looks like. So there's my town, and you can get in more detailed information there. So let's see if I can swipe out of that. Here we go, it worked that time. Oh, it's so touchy. All right, I'm just gonna have to hit the home button. That is really annoying. That's something they definitely have to work on as far as the software here. So we have relax, we have agenda, we have our wallet. So it does have FitBit Pay. So you can connect up some credit cards to it and you can use it for contactless payments. We have our watch faces, and we'll look at some more of those on the actual app. There are plenty of watch faces available. You can only store, I think, 6 on the watch at the same time. Some of them you have to pay for, and you can see it doesn't even show you what it looks like until you actually select it. So there we go. There's our clock faces. Let's get back out of that. And we have Find My Phone. So that's obviously going to vibrate your phone. Let's actually see what that does. See if it actually makes a tone or if it just vibrates. Find phone. Ooh, that's loud. Yikes. Okay. It obviously makes a tone. That's kind of nice. All right, let's get out of that. Again, swiping doesn't work very well. To back out of something. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We have Fitbit Coach. We have Alexa, of course. That's going to allow you to, ask Alexa for the weather and, various things that Alexa does. We have Pandora. I am unfortunately not a premium subscriber to Pandora, so I can't download any music from that. We have Starbucks, Spotify, Deezer, and then Strava. So just as a note, Strava doesn't actually, all it does is work to sync your workouts from from the exercise app to the actual Strava app. So this isn't like you can't actually record using the Strava app. It's just to sync things back and forth. And then you can actually look at your previous workouts there as well. So when you do an exercise, if you have Strava connected using that app, you can sync it directly. All right, so let's go through the exercises since I didn't do that earlier. So we have, of course, running, biking, we have boot camp. Not really sure what I would do with that one. I don't really do that kind of stuff. Circuit training, we have elliptical, we have golf, we have hiking, intervals, kickboxing, martial arts, Pilates, spinning, stair climber, swimming, and tennis, treadmill, and walk, and weights, and adrenal workout, and yoga. So lots of different options there for working out. Unfortunately, if you don't see one that's not there, if you see one that you do that's not there, that means it's probably not available. All right, so let's take a look at the app here. So I'm into my main screen, and you can see that basically it's going to give me my today information, so zone minutes. Now, I went for an 11-mile run this morning before I even started using the watch. So it's going to be off from like my Apple Watch. So my Apple Watch has, what is it, like 21,000 steps. Over here, we're only at 9,000 because it didn't include my 11-mile run this morning, but that's all right. So tomorrow we'll test out the running with the Fitbit here. Track your mindfulness. We can wear the Fitbit to bed. So I haven't done any sleep tracking yet because I didn't wear it to sleep last night, but I will tonight. So we'll test that out. I already showed you the exercise. So this is just when it automatically started recording. That wasn't an actual workout I did today. The run that you can see here was from a previous run using the Fitbit Versa 2. So that's an old exercise there. Heart rate zones. We have our steps. So we have a goal of 250 steps per hour. That was kind of like the automatic default. You can see I only did that 4 out of the 14 hours today. We can log water and log food if you want. Now let's go into, let's scroll up, and I'm going to click on my picture there, and we're actually going to go into the Versa 3. So you can see it says battery full, which means it's probably not, lasting. Okay, only a minute ago. So we can go into Amazon Alexa. So that's it basically just to connect it. You can see I've already connected it, and it gives you some information on some of the things you can do with Alexa. Supposedly it also works with Google. So I haven't actually tried that one out. We have clock faces. So that's where you can get various watch faces, obviously. So there is my Versa. So these are the ones that I have down here. Whoops. Went out of the app. Did not mean to do that. Let's go back. So those are the 5 I have. However, you can, of course, go over here. And some of these are paid ones. Some of these are free ones. So if you go to the ones by Fitbit, those ones will be free. Some of the other ones will be not free. So just a heads up on that. Even though they're here, doesn't mean they're necessarily free, especially if they're third-party ones. Okay, let's go into the apps. So let's just show you the apps that I currently have. And then there is an all apps over there. So these are the ones I already have. So those are the ones you already saw on the watch earlier. We got a little bug there. And all apps, let's see what we got here. So I'll be honest with you, it's pretty limited. It's probably, I don't want to say this. No, it's more limited than like Samsung. So like in comparison to like an Apple Watch has just a boatload of different apps you can get. Garmin has a good amount of apps. It's still more limited, I would say, definitely than the Apple Watch. If you get a Samsung watch, they're pretty limited, but this one's even more limited than that. So I would say, of the ones that I just mentioned, Garmin probably has a few more apps, but obviously, if you're just using it for notifications and working out, then basically everything you need is right here. But it is a little bit more limited. So that's definitely a little bit of a weakness. I didn't mention either Deezer. So that's another one. You can download music directly to the watch if you subscribe to the premium Deezer. Okay, we can scroll through here. So there's plenty of apps here, but like I said, it's definitely more limited than what you get on some other watches. All right, so there's our music. Click on that. So you can see the option here. So Spotify, Pandora, Deezer. Get out of there. We have our wallet. So that's where we can set up our various credit cards. That's just information. And then that's to buy some accessories. And you can see we can go down here. We can adjust some of our settings in here as well. So I can adjust notifications. So you can pick what things give you notifications. We can do voice replies, quick replies, vibrate. So it'll vibrate obviously when you get a notification. So you can see I have that turned off at the moment. And enable transliteration. Interesting. I haven't tried that one. Get out of that. And we have our reminders to move. So it's just going to give you a vibration. So obviously all those times when I didn't take 250 steps, it was letting me know that I didn't do that. So that's nice to have, so that, if you're sitting around all day for work, then it can remind you to maybe get up and move a little bit. You can set main goals. So I have it set at steps. Obviously that's to tell it which wrist you're wearing it on, your dominant hand or your other hand. We have quick view options here. So quick view is basically just flip the wrist to turn it on. That's what quick view is for. We can set up our Wi-Fi there and then device lock. So that's pretty much it. as far as Fitbit goes, I'll be honest with you, for me personally, I think Fitbit still has some room to improve, especially with the workout. So I mentioned earlier, like if you are a runner like I am, it's a little bit limited, obviously, in terms of what information you get while you're working out. So let's say I go for a run. Obviously, I get GPS. We're going to test out that GPS. We're going to test out the heart rate to see how accurate it is. But obviously, you can't do laps like you can on something like a Garmin or even the Apple Watch. It just has the auto lap option. So it's nice to have, but it's a little bit more limited. And then, of course, you can only get 3 data fields when you're actually working out at one time. So let's go ahead and show you what that looks like. So that's the always on display, apparently. Flip it over. Come on. Show me the workout. There it is. All right, let's hit play. There we go. All right, so it's going to give you kind of like a countdown there. So we have our pace. Okay, it's not going to show me everything, unfortunately, because right now it says GPS connecting. Normally there would be 3 things here, but I think because the GPS isn't connected, it's not showing it to me. And then if I want to end a workout, obviously you can see I pull down, or I basically pull up. So that can be a little bit, annoying to mess around when you're trying to finish a workout. But you can see you can go here and end, and there you go. So I ran for 26.5 seconds there. 0 feet, 0 steps, all that good stuff. All right, so that is not a quick run through, a long run through of the Fitbit Versa 3. Like I mentioned, I think Fitbit has some room to improve on this, but I'm going to be comparing it up to like my Apple Watch SE, also the Garmin Venue SQ that I have coming tomorrow, actually. So stay tuned for those videos in the very near future. Thanks for watching. Hope this video has been helpful for you, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace. Thank you.